These are the faces of heart awareness.
Trust your gut. You know your body better than anyone else.
Heart disease.
I guess I'd hoped it would skip a generation.
Heart advocacy.
For many others, they could be put in a better position.
Heart patients.
And then there are those patients without obvious risk factors.
Like me.
I'll tell you about my own journey, about living with heart disease.
This is Chronicle on WCVB Channel 5.
Every minute in the United States, one woman will die of heart disease. 1/3 of all female deaths by year's end. The #1 killer, the largest health threat women face, more than every cancer combined.
Historically in cardiology, we have basically focused on men's cardiovascular health and then increasingly realized that women actually do get cardiovascular disease and their outcomes weren't necessarily matching that of their male counterparts.
In 2007, Massachusetts General Hospital led the way in a new focus, women-focused cardio diagnostic and treatments, opening one of the first ever women's heart health clinics in the world. Co-director Nandita Scott says it has provided a place to understand the biological differences that put women at risk, key to treatment and prevention.
Women have unique forms of heart disease, unique ways of having heart attacks. Women, when they have symptoms, present later than their male counterparts. Women historically take care of everyone else. We're caretakers, but to take care of your family, you need to take care of yourself.
In recent years, there has been a steady focus on the heart-hormone connection.
Women have sex-specific risk factors that have largely been ignored, such as hormonal fluctuations with menses, menopause, and those hormones do actually affect the vasculature. It was historically been ignored. I think we're realizing more that these hormones are important and do affect women's heart health, and we need to talk about them, figure out how to target them.
Research suggests that a woman's estrogen levels help protect against heart disease, preventing inflammation that contributes to the buildup of plaque. As we age, estrogen decreases. The risk of heart disease increases. But in stark contrast to that finding, heart attacks among pregnant women are on the rise.
Despite the huge richness and opportunities in our country, we have the worst maternal mortality of any developed nation in the world, and cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of maternal death in this country.
I heard a heart attack and I almost laughed. I'm like, I'm 38 years old. I'm healthy. I've never had a heart problem in my life. I have no family history of heart problems. This is not something that should be happening right now.
In 2022, after a long IVF journey, Carol Ann Watts learned that she and her husband would finally be welcoming their first child.
I was ecstatic. I mean, it had been a 4-year process, and it was just all joy, and then obviously a whole new set of anxiety that come with pregnancy.
At 27 weeks, they headed to the West Coast for a baby moon, taking in the sights with no indication of what was to come.
We had just gotten up that morning, had breakfast, and I was walking to the car, and I started this crushing chest pain.
Watts called her mother, a cardiac nurse, who quickly snubbed out those anxiety, indigestion, the list goes on. Reasons so many women don't seek help in time.
I was in shock. It wasn't until the second hospital I was at that someone would use the word heart attack. At that point they said, we think you might be having what's known as a SCAD, spontaneous coronary artery dissection, and I had to Google it. I didn't know what it was, I'd never heard of it.
SCAD is a tear in the artery wall that allows blood to build up in the space between the layers. It can and often does lead to a heart attack. There is no known cause, but pregnancy is a risk factor. Watts would spend 2 weeks in the hospital recovering. At 37 weeks, a C-section, welcoming their little boy to the world.
This is Callan.
Hi, Bubby.
He's 7 months.
7 months old? Look
Yes.
at you, your belly. Yes. Oh, he loves his mama.
He does.
But her heart journey was far from over. 8 days after giving birth, she woke with a familiar crushing pain.
I didn't want it to be another heart attack, so I waited an hour, woke up my husband, and he's like, call the doctor.
In the ER, despite her heart attack history, Watts says she still wasn't considered an emergency.
I wasn't really taken seriously. I walked in and said, I'm having a heart attack. And they were like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. And I sat in the waiting room for over an hour. You right, buddy? You right, buddy?
7 months removed from her SCAD events, the Watts family, including little Callan, are very much hard aware. From suspenders of support to a new purpose.
What would be your advice for other women?
Push for the blood work that proves that you're having a cardiac event. Push for the EKG. Push for the repeat blood work. Trust your gut. You know your body better than anyone else, and if you feel like something is off, something is probably off.
And recently, Nicole, there have been some studies that have indicated and raised the red flag for pregnant mothers even several years after delivery.
That's right, Anthony. Women who experience the condition preeclampsia during pregnancy, a lot of women do, are 2 to 4 times more likely to develop high blood pressure and or heart disease later in life. Now, coming up a little later in the show, I will share a little bit about my own personal heart journey, things that I wish I knew and things that I think are important for you at home to know as well.
Great. Up next, convincing the younger generation to get checked.